right. Streams should be live, should be good. We'll be going over today's plays as well as the market, what to expect as we finish out this short week tomorrow. All right, so pretty interesting stuff that we got here going on today, so let's get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 3rd, 2021. Q's down about 1%. We had the gap down, got a little bit of a recovery there. SPY even more pronounced on the recovery, and then SPY's going to close down here just a little more than 1/3%. So we got a gap down on the Q's and the SPY. We came into today still bullish on the market. Okay, we acknowledge that the hourly, the smaller time frames kind of lost the momentum, but overall, the larger picture, the more that we zoom out, the more bullish it gets. So going into tomorrow, it's still going to be the same. I'm still bullish on the larger time frames, acknowledging that the smaller time frames are starting to weaken and lose the momentum. So then if we are losing some of that uptrend and that upward momentum, what do we need to see in order to start being bearish, to expect some kind of return to the major support down here? What I need to see is us take out today's lows, and I would expect we get some follow through from there, and then the next setup. I referenced yesterday, we're still a couple setups away from being bearish on the market. Okay, so what would that accomplish? Not only would that confirm the hourly downtrend on the Qs and SPY if we take out today's low, we would also be breaking underneath the 20 MA on the Qs and the SPY. Now, it's not that the 20 MA is in some kind of magical support or line of any kind. It's just a nice way to simplify the price action. Okay, and so if we look at how sideways we've been on the Qs and on the SPY, Qs actually recovered from a downtrend. If we break underneath the 20 MA and we stay down there, it tells us that, you know, from the range, from the high to this pivot, that we're starting to move back into the lower part of the range. Okay, so that on top of the smaller time frames going into a downtrend. Okay, so if we take out today's low on the Qs and SPY, then the next setup, so it probably won't be this week, at the earliest be tomorrow afternoon. Say we gap down and then we get a little bit of a recovery, and then into the afternoon we could look at it, or a big sell-off at the open, and then we get a bounce in the early morning, and then into the afternoon gives us a pivot. Most likely it's going to be next week, okay, if we get some kind of sell setup, or, you know, we move lower, we take out today's low, and then we kind of base here. That'll probably be more like Monday then, if there's going to be some breakdown followed from there. So next setup, okay, there's a little bit of time frame misalignment here, or time frame conflict. We're below now on the hourly, and then every other time frame, daily, weekly, monthly, we're all still above. Okay, so the lower time frame is starting to weaken a little bit. We saw that yesterday, made note of it, but it didn't really change anything for today. And even today, if you came in with a bullish bias, you know, it had a pretty decent move up there, and I wasn't expecting us, you know, to really fall apart today. Kind of a doji bar. Okay. Let's go over the plays from today. CLNE was my favorite gap up today, gapping over the base, breaking this, challenging the downtrend here on the daily, but couldn't quite get the setup that I wanted. The first idea I gave was this breakout right here. And you can see it looks like the NOK yesterday. It looks like the ENG from Monday. It's the same thing, base breakout, but it came in instead. So setting up like this, I was anticipating, okay, we get a breakout, I'll play it. Came in instead. So it did work as like a buy setup. I didn't like the buy setup that much. What was a really nice buy setup was here. Now you can't see it because I already corrected the bar, but originally my bar, I'll show you what it originally looked like this. So I wasn't sure what was up with this thing. Okay, I know this isn't on every platform, so this might just be a bad tick. I thought it was real, especially with the volume. Usually when you get big bars like this that are much bigger than all the other bars, you also get the volume, which this had. If the volume on this was just average, then I would have assumed right away that this was a bad tick. But look at this 1 minute buy setup. Rising 20 MA, good gap, room on the daily. Here's the daily. Room on the daily, right up to resistance. So I did let this one go, 1 minute buy setup, and I think it worked for like 4 Rs or so. Okay, so that was what I was looking at. So I let that one go. Missed out. That was pretty nice. But I think some people did catch it because they did give you the idea in the room. This was my favorite gap down. Ended up not really moving, so that was fine. I was looking for a breakdown in the morning to play, but you can see it's just too thin. So fine. Moving on. I noticed the EDU next had a little bit of a base here after rallying right in here. And so I know the EDU and the TAL are tied together, and I noticed that the TAL was a lot weaker. Okay, so then that ended up being the first play of the morning was the TAL. Declining 20 MA catches up, breakdown underneath there. Okay, so that was pretty good. I did cover it before the move got really nice because it had already reached 4 Rs on the runner, but it really worked. And then some people also played it long as a climactic. That's fine too. Yeah, I didn't play long. Don't typically play climactics. Okay, so that was pretty good, the TAL. So that was nice. And then in the afternoon, gave a shot on this VBLT, but I knew it was a little bit on the iffy side here. Here's the VBLT. I like the daily a lot. You can see kind of working out of this transition here. And then the 15-minute did this pullback. We did get to target one. I only took a third of it. And then the last piece came back in. I said to trail it to the inside bar here under 87. So due to the slippage, and that goes back to this being thin, this 89,000, it really, this I shouldn't be playing. It's just too thin, especially for a $2 stock to be doing this kind of volume. So there was 4 to 5 cents spread at times. It's really tough to manage a play like this when, the stop is only 10, 15 cents, and then you have another 4 or 5 cents slippage, right? In and out. On the way out was good. I didn't take any slippage, but still, this kind of stuff, yeah, I don't want to do too much. Like I said, I did like the daily, and the pattern's fine. We did get to a first target. It's just, yeah, it fell apart after that. And generally, even on the first target, it was hard to manage. Took 3 cents on the slippage getting in. So when that's the case, even if you get the direction right, even if you play the pullback and it gets to target, new highs, it really cuts into, how well you do on the play when you're dealing with slippage, right? And I took a little bit of slippage on the way in, and on the first target, I was trying to trail it, took another couple cents there. Because what is trading, right? Trading is ultimately the price that you get in and the price that you get out, right? Just in its simplest form, right? And if you don't have that much control over where you get in and where you get out, right, then it just makes trading hard. And so, yeah, this I didn't make anything on, even though kind of got to the first target okay, but failed on the back half, even though, we even tightened it up, but it's just the slippage just kind of made it so that it wasn't that nice of a play. Okay, so that was the VBLT. A little bit aggressive. Went over why I was aggressive, but also why I thought it was good enough, worth a shot. And at the end of the day, ended up just being a break-even play. So it's fine. The other plays that we went over, the TAL, the CLNE, even the EDU worked great. That's the stuff, I'll do that, any day of the week, no problem. Volume, look at this. I mean, no, there's no issues here. Millions and millions of shares. We're not talking about 100,000 shares on a $2 stock, right? So this I'm going to try to avoid as much as possible. I thought it looked really good. Thought it had a lot of potential, So, but for the most part, day in and day out, I see a lot of these and I let them go. So it's just today. Figured it was worth a shot. Okay. All right. Hope you did well today. We will be back at it tomorrow to close out the week. I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.